opportunity to get to hang out with you guys for just a few minutes tonight. Like Misty said, my name is Stephanie Jordan. I'm the Highlands Kids Director, and just to kind of give you background about me and where I come from and how I got here, I started at Church of the Highlands in 2007 when it launched in Tuscaloosa. I was just a college freshman, so I'm sure many of you can relate to wandering in those doors and not really knowing what to expect. And it was actually my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time. We both kind of wandered in together, and he just felt called to Highlands, and I was 18. I loved him, and I said, sure, let's do it. And we got plugged in. Finally, it took a couple of years, but we finally went through the growth track. I started serving in the nursery, eventually became the preschool coordinator, and got to do that for 4 years before I passed on the reins to your classmate, Caitlin. And now I get to oversee preschool Highlands Kids Haven and our family check-in team, which is really fun. So basically what I get to do every week is to just pour into the kids teams, help grow them, help maintain their health, and love on the families, and help pastor the families of our church alongside our awesome pastoral team with your other classmate, Chad Sleeper. So I was a teacher in middle school for 5 years, but I'm not gonna lie, I could walk into that classroom and walk up and down the aisles, and it didn't faze me a bit. But talking to you guys is a little bit different than that, so you'll just have to bear with me tonight. Hopefully you will hear more of what God is wanting to say through me, as opposed to what I would like to say, what I would like to share. So my topic for you guys tonight, and I promise it says I said topic, and I said I was a teacher. I promise I'm not going to keep you for an hour in here and lecture you. I was not that kind of teacher anyway, honestly. I wish I could pull up the desk and just sit right down in the middle of you guys and talk to you more in a Socratic method, where I'm asking you questions and you're the one that's doing all the talking. But basically, I want to talk to you guys about going against the majority, or being in the minority. A strong leader is someone who is willing to do what's not popular. And that's a hard decision to make sometimes, because you think of leaders as being popular, winning a popular vote, or doing what the majority wants. But honestly, it's making those unpopular decisions that gets a lot of leaders, particularly in ministry, where they are. Right, a show of hands if you have seen the TV show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Oh, good! Here I am thinking that I was too old and that nobody was going to be able to relate to that. Does anybody remember the lifeline? Poll the audience, ask the audience. Right? Okay, so just think about that for a second, and how many times the audience picked something and it was the vast majority, and then the person went with it and it wasn't right. I think that happens a lot with us. It's too much of the time we want to talk to everybody else, get opinions from everybody else, and hear what their thoughts are, instead of listening to God and going with that gut response. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the story of Caleb and Joshua, and how they stood out as leaders that were willing to go against the grain in Numbers 13. So just a little bit of background. Moses and Aaron had obviously led the Israelites out of captivity in Egypt. They were wandering in the wilderness. But God had promised them the land of Canaan. Well, as they're getting closer to that time, he asked Moses at the beginning of chapter 13, he says, the Lord said to Moses, send some men to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. From each ancestral tribe send one of its leaders. So after that, Moses picks a leader from each of the tribes. So he ends up sending 12 spies into the land to scope it out, look at what they're up against, look at what the land holds, and to come and report that. He's not sending them in to say whether or not they can do it, because God's already promised it, right? He's sending them in to just scout out the territory. Well, then they come back, and 10 of them are like, no way, not going to happen. We are, in fact, they said, we are grasshoppers compared to the inhabitants of this land. not going to do it. There's no way we're going to be able, we might as well have died. We might as well have stayed in Egypt. We may as well have killed us in the wilderness. 10 of the 12. Okay, so we're now looking at about 17% of the feedback that they're getting is not negative. Okay, so 17%. You got 2, Caleb and Joshua, that stood up and were willing to go against what the other 10 were saying. Okay, so my first point for you guys tonight is that leaders are in tune with God's voice and vision. So Caleb and Joshua, just like the other 10, all 12 of them went into the land already knowing God's promise. But 2 of them were in tune with the voice and the vision. So when they came back to report it, it says in Numbers 13:26, they came back to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh. Forgive me, I taught world history actually, but I'm still going to mispronounce some of these names. So just forgive me. I'm going to say it like I know it, and y'all can just go with it, okay? In the desert of Paran. There they reported to them and to the whole assembly and showed them the fruit of the land. They gave Moses this account. We went into the land to which you sent us, and it does flow with milk and honey. Here is its fruit. But the people who live there are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. We even saw descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites live in the Negev, the Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites live in the hill country, and the Canaanites live near the sea and along the Jordan. So that was the report of the 10. It's sounding pretty intimidating. It's sounding like it's not going to happen. But in verse 30, then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we certainly do it. For we can certainly do it. He silenced them. He was not afraid. Caleb, actually, not Joshua, which might even be the surprising part because who's the one that eventually was the leader? Joshua. But Caleb is the one that first stood up and silenced them and said, we certainly can do it. But the men who had gone up with him said, we can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. They said, the land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there are of great size. We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. So at this point, hearing the 10, the popular opinion of what's going on in the promised land, the Israelites start to rebel. They get all tore up, y'all. They want to go back to Egypt. They want to just die in the wilderness. They want to choose a new leader. Moses and Aaron start falling on their face before the people. But then as you continue on in chapter 14, so again, main point number 2, leaders are willing to go against what is popular opinion. In chapter 14, verse 7, Caleb and Joshua tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite assembly, so they're no longer just reporting back to Moses and Aaron, the land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, again, in tune with God's voice and vision, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. So again, they were willing to go against what that popular opinion. I think that sounds like another leader that we try to model our lives after, Jesus. Basically, Jesus' entire ministry was going against popular opinion, whether it be the Pharisees and what they projected to the people on a daily basis, or even just going about and doing miracles that seemed impossible. He would go up to children that everyone had assumed was dead, that there was nothing else they could do, and he would say, they're just sleeping. I can guarantee you that was not the popular opinion of what was going on with that person. But Jesus was not intimidated by that. He was in tune with God's vision and God's voice. He was not afraid to go against popular opinion. And because of that, miracles took place. Miracles that no one would have expected. And so because of this, they were also wholehearted in their obedience. So that was point number leaders are wholehearted in their obedience. In Numbers 14:24, it goes on to talk about Caleb again. But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit, difference usually not popular, difference usually not what's accepted, and follows me wholeheartedly, I will bring him into the land he went to, and his descendants will inherit it. They were in tune. Joshua and Caleb were in tune with God's voice and vision. They were not afraid to go against popular opinion. And not only were they not afraid to go against popular opinion, they were wholehearted in their obedience. This is the John Maxwell Leadership Bible that I'm reading out of. I highly recommend it if you don't have it. He goes on to talk about Caleb and what was so amazing about Caleb. Caleb was not, he was a great leader, and we know, not Caleb, Joshua, they both were great leaders, but Joshua was not necessarily known for his intellect or his talent or his might or anything else. What made him a stand-apart leader was his obedience. His obedience is what was remarkable. So it just goes to show us that we may not be the best at everything. We may not even be the best at what we're trying to do here. But God is looking for a heart that's obedient. He is looking for one that's going to be in tune with what he's saying and that's willing not to just go with popular flow. You guys are already doing that. Ministry school is not what most people are doing. It is not the popular decision. You're doing it at night for 3 hours. You're serving just exorbitant amounts of time on Sunday. That's not what's popular, right? But you guys are already making that decision to go against what's popular. And I'll tell you, their rewards, Joshua ended up being the one who led the Israelites. And Caleb inherited the land that was promised to him, for him and his descendants after him. So my challenge to you guys today is, what is God telling you that you have already decided you're not doing because it's not popular or because it's not going to be the well-liked decision? Think about that. Pray on it. Fast about it. And then lead the way in obedience wholeheartedly. I'm going to pray you guys out and hand it back over to Misty. Dear Heavenly Father, God, I just thank you so much for every man and woman that is in this room. Father God, I just thank you that they are already stepping out in obedience and they are making a decision that may not always be popular or always be liked. God, I pray that you just pour out a special anointing on each and every one of them, God, that they will go forth in their daily lives and they will make those decisions, God, but they will do it because they are in tune with your voice and your vision for their lives. That they will go forth, they will make those unpopular decisions, and they will be obedient to you wholeheartedly. And I pray because of that, God, that Ephesians 3:20 will be so evident in their lives, Lord, that you will bless each and every one of them immeasurably more than all they could ask or imagine. In Jesus' name, amen.